All right, guys, time to wash up the Ford today, and we're going to back it here in the driveway. Going to roll it out. Things been getting a little bit dusty since we've been tooling around town and going through the high desert a little bit, but that's how it is when you drive one quite a bit. Not a problem at all. We'll back it up here, and then we'll also chalk it just to make sure we're good, ready to go. Even if you don't live with an incline in your driveway, I highly suggest a set of wheel chocks. Always come in handy. One of the things I like to do as well is just check my tire pressure anytime I wash the car. Looks like we're a bit low on the front tires, so we'll give this a check here, see where we're at. My tire's 44 psi max cold. I like to run 38 or so, and we're a little bit low. We're right at 30, so it's been, I think, a few months since I put any air in these tires, so we'll bring them up to 38. There we go, right at 38. So probably wondering, why do you run 38 not 44? A little bit soft to ride, and tires wear pretty good, so it's not a problem. Maybe wondering why tires are just a bit low. We had a recent cold snap here in the high desert, and down to the 30s in a few days, and these tires don't have nitrogen in them. They just have whatever the current air mixture is. So as cold temperatures are, they'll deflate the tires a little bit. All right, time to fill up our buckets. I just use something from Turtle Wax. Not a real big deal as much as I throw polish on the car and different things, and how much it sits in the garage. But I use 2 buckets, one for the tires and bumpers, wheels, and then I also use, obviously for the body, I've got one of these little grates here. It sits at the bottom, collects all the junk, and keeps everything separated. So I like to fill 5-gallon bucket here, maybe about a 1/2 inch at the bottom. It really depends on what you're using and how concentrated it is. Everything kind of varies. Usually don't fill this bucket too much. So we'll need probably go without saying, you want to get some pretty good suds, pretty good foam. There's times I wash my own cars and I'll use a pressure washer and a foamer that works really good. Some of this may seem a little bit like I'm using too much, but as much as I rinse the car off while I'm washing it, it's really not a big deal. As long as I get a good lather. And next, make sure all the windows are up and hose that car down. Take a look at the car real quick and you see what I mean about some of the dust and stuff that settles out here. So if you look across the top here, you can see we're not here in the high desert. I got some got some places on and stuff. Not a real big deal though. Not too many bugs out here, so that's kind of nice, especially with cooler weather coming on. All right, I know the sun's out here, but it's not too bad. It's in the low 50s here in the middle of November, so I would not do this in the sunlight out here, this high desert, in the middle of summer, that's for sure. But just want to soak everything down and try to get that water to lift off anything on your paint, on your surface that's loose. Really helps the process here. And just soak everything. You never rinse your car off too much when you're washing it. That's for sure. Especially dealing with all the soap, suds, and everything, and grime. We got some bird dew on here. All the rest of it. We'll go ahead and make sure everything's nice and... Yeah, there's some bird dew up there. A lot of it's coming off with the water though, so. What is nice about a sloped driveway is all this water will just kind of trail off. There's some junk. You just saw that come out of the piece of stainless. If you live someplace where you've got a lot of dirt, debris, leaves, stuff like that, you do want to watch your stainless because that stuff can get behind there and just kind of rot. And man, it's nasty. Sometimes it'll stain your paint. Rocker panel trim especially. That's important too. So, all right, we're pretty good here. And we'll get to washing stuff up. Okay, to start the washing process, what I like to do is start at the windshield on either side and just kind of hit the top real good. And I do like to use a mitt that looks like this. It's got one side that'll grab some of the impurities and some of the loose stuff, and the other side it kind of massage it. But anyway, this is really good for the glass, of course. And so everything's nice and wet. Any problem with any soap or suds kind of drying off on you. But notice what I'm wearing. I don't have any belt on. I don't have anything that could scratch the car while I'm painting it. Everything's cloth. Excuse me. Just want to go over everything really good. I like to do a section at a time, and when I'm done with that section, I'll make sure that I rinse it off really good. Get all the soap and suds off of it. This kind of weather where it's not hot, there's a lot of sun out here, but stuff isn't drying off quickly at all. You can get away with washing the car in the middle of sunlight. It works just fine. All right, we're pretty good. Got the top and the windshield. We're going to go ahead and move the camera and just kind of rinse off the glass and the top. Big deal about washing in sunlight is trying to keep everything wet. Don't let anything dry on you. Makes it all the more difficult to get the finish just right when you're drying it. Another major plus about a sloped driveway is all that water goes towards the back. It doesn't well up into your stainless or your chrome or anything. Just follows the channel, just like the wind would. Grab the camera here in a second, show you how good the top looks. Probably see right there with the whole principle of the idea that we're on a sloped driveway and everything's just kind of going towards the back with the suds and everything. But I'll save the bumpers and I'll save the tires for my second bucket. The white on the car is actually the same paint code as the 60s Ford Mustangs. This was the snowshoe white in the 50s that Ford used, and it's the same exact paint code for the 60s for the Mustang. So that's what I decided to do. The red, it's called a Hot Rod Red from Eastwood. Both of the paints are single stage urethane, and I just wanted more gloss out of it. So after I painted it with single stage urethane, you can tell me put one of the video clips into this too, just so you can see it. I sanded, kind of blocked that down, and then I cleared I clear coated that, and it really made everything pop. I mean, it's probably more expensive. It wasn't a base coat, clear coat job, but it ended up kind of being that way with clearing over a single stage urethane, but ended up getting the colors I wanted, and certainly the finish I wanted too, which is very nice. All right, we got the front end done here. Oh, hold on a minute. Gotta wash the grill. Normally, I don't wash the gravel pan. It's just kind of hard to get in there. And try to watch for any bugs. I'll get the fog lights, all that kind of thing. But save the other bucket for the bumper. I obviously try to rinse the gravel pan off if I can. You can tell at that camera angle, the sunlight hitting it, but it's so important to do a good job rinsing. Pick up the camera, we're going to move to the side over here. And I've already hit the front fender. And set this down. Try to hit this side of the car from the door all the way back here. So I will save the rocker panel trim for my second bucket. Sometimes it picks up stuff, or maybe it's road tar or whatever. Now, if you follow the channel, you know this car here, this is not a show car. It's not a trailer queen. It's definitely a driver. We run this thing all over LA County here. So the only thing I haven't done, I haven't run on the 405 or the 101 or Interstate 5 at all. I have stayed out of that. Not that the car couldn't handle it. It's just, man, the way people drive here in California, there's people in that heavy traffic. I can tell you, it gets crazy. Seen a lot of wild accidents out here. Not that I don't trust the car, I just don't trust people. All right, we'll go ahead and rinse it off here on the side. You can see if you look along the stainless, how the water comes up underneath of it. Of course, that stainless isn't tight to the body, and got to be careful. Stuff will kind of get wedged in there. Always make sure thing completely rinsed. You can see I've got some stuff that's kind of got up under there a couple places. All right, we're going to repeat the process on the same side. Nothing much to watch here, but all right, it's time to start on the tires. I generally do not do much tire dressing. If I had white walls, probably I would, but Black Magic, bleach white is really good stuff. Even though I got all black walls here, I got my other bucket. Basically what I'll do, I'll take my bleach white and I'll spray the whole tire down, just the tire. Let it sit for a little bit. I'll go back and do, really, to be honest with you, I'll do all 4 tires and just let the bleach white sit up for a little bit. So after a few minutes, everything's set up. I've got a rag in here that I'll use for my wheel, and then my hubcap. I've got a nice contour brush. I'll just go over here with the tire and scrub it really good. Once again, you want to make sure you use a different bucket than what you're using to wash your car with. Just make sure to rinse it off real good. And just like the car itself, this will be the last that we dry. So we'll go around and hit off other tires. This next little step here, if you own a mid-50s Ford, then you know why I'm going to do this. And that's because we want to get the rest of the tire in the rear wheel wells. Next up, we'll wash both bumpers, license plate.
I like that thing pretty clean. Plus, there's no bugs out here. Makes it nice.
Again, taking that second bucket, we'll look at the rocker panel trim. Watch that really good. Check it out, see if it got any tar on it. Any bug. This one looks pretty good. Usually the one that's on the inside of the lane, driver's side, is not that bad. A lot of times it's the one close to the shoulder. I've got just a simple squeegee you can get anywhere, department store. Each stroke, that water will fall down. We'll just keep on coming. The more you can squeegee off, the more you're going to save your towel when you're trying to dry it. The squeegees are really good. You can get all that water out of there. Boy, you can see this window here, how my paint, it's kind of separating here, the layers. See that up in there? You can tell, see that on camera or not. There you go, you can see at the top there. I think that's the adhesive of the glass itself. That waterfall. Another fine example about why it's important to wear clothes that don't have any buttons on them or anything that's going to scratch the paint. I'll get the camera here, let you see how clean this is looking to come across. How nice this looks. Just in broad sunlight, you can tell how good it looks. All right, next we'll squeegee the hood. Just bring it right down to where it meets the fender. Let that water just all the way down there. You can just hear the squeegee just kind of glide over this smooth surface here. Take the camera here and just show you. You can tell where some of the water kind of beads up, and then other places it's already dry. One of the places it does bead up a lot is on the stainless. Typically, I'll take a terry cloth or a towel and try to get, but even most of this deck lid's already ready to go. So you can tell over here too, a lot of water is kind of dried. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is take a towel here and just go over the top. Really where you're going to have issues most probably is just where the stainless is at. It's where the water really likes to beat up on me really badly. Chrome, trim, mirrors, all that. So we'll go ahead and do both sides here and just use the top down principle to get things dried off. It's easy to keep your chrome nice and shiny if you don't let water spots build up on it. You can always polish them out, but take all the work. All right, now that the car is dry, I'm going to get a microfiber cloth and go to the wheels. I like having painted wheels, same color as the car, part of the two-tone. I just think it kind of sets this thing off. Just my 2 cents, but whatever. A couple times a year too, I will also polish chrome hubcaps. I just use turtle wax. All right, that's pretty much a wrap on the old Ford, and getting her cleaned up today, giving her a little bath. Looking pretty nice and ready for the holiday season.